O Lord, our Father, our young patriots, idols of our hearts, go forth to battle. Be thou near them, with them, in spirit. We also go forth from the sweet peace of our beloved firesides to smite the foe. O Lord our God, help us to tear their soldiers to bloody shreds with our shells. Help us to cover their smiling fields with the pale forms of their patriot dead. Help us to drown the thunder of the guns with the shrieks of their wounded, writhing in pain. Help us to lay waste to their humble homes with a hurricane of fire. Help us to wring the hearts of their unoffending widows with unavailing grief. Help us to turn them out, roofless, with their little children, to wander unfriended the wastes of their desolated land, in rags and hunger and thirst, sports of the sun flames of summer and the icy winds of winter, burdened in spirit, worn with travail, imploring thee for the refuge of the grave, and denied it. For our sakes who adore thee, Lord, bless their hopes, blight their lives, protract their bitter pilgrimage, make heavy their steps, water their way with their tears, stain the white snow with the blood of their wounded feet. We ask it in the spirit of love, of him who is the source of love, and who is the ever-faithful refuge and friend of all that are sore beset, and seek his aid with humble and contrite hearts. Amen. My response is entitled My Nightmare, and is dedicated to the men and women of the armed services dealing with PTSD. I find it hard to get out of bed some mornings, and some might say it's justified, but I remember it wasn't always this way. As I wrestle myself in my wheelchair, I try to remember most days, but sometimes it's just a blur. Since they cut off my Klonopin and told me the voices in my head and the visions would go away, they were sure. The doc said I'll be fine and gave me a pat on the shoulder. But I promise you, I'm colder. My nightmares come alive in the daytime, and they haunt me when I'm alone. They leave me in a darkened place from which no light can be shown. These horrible things belong to me. Only I can call them my own. I see their faces on the insides of my eyelids. Kids are what they were. Just kids. Things are handled much differently in war. According to my rules of engagement, they were insurgents, wearing C4, plastic explosives packed in a vest with care by mothers who would send their sons to war, whispering in their ears not to fear they'd be with God soon and receive 72 virgins whom they would adore. With a childlike curiosity and a head filled with lies, they covered the bombs with a jacket and said their goodbyes. They ran towards me, shouting prayers with their arms out extended. In that moment, my life ended. Shrapnel pierced me like light, 'cause through darkness, soon that's all there was, darkness. I awoke to sharp pain in my legs, like stings from 1,000 bees. I pulled down the hospital sheets to see what's left of me. Just a pair of small stumps and a medal pinned to my chest. What came next was the, "Thank you for your service, son. America knows you've done your best." My wife left me soon after. Even after they offered me titanium legs, she refused to be the Dorothy to my Tin Man in this hellish rendition of The Wizard of Oz. She had always said I was a stand-up guy, but she refused to be with a man who could no longer stand up. So she said goodbye. I crawled into a whiskey bottle for the better part of a year, pawned off all my belongings to buy cheap cigarettes and beer. I drowned myself in alcohol because only then were their faces blurred, and I tuned out all the voices in my head whose words became slurred. I want my nightmares to leave. I want my friends to stay. I want my legs back, even if only for a day. I'd take the opportunity to change the world if I could, and stand up to face my nightmares as all good soldiers should.